Welcome to the Hallspace Podcast. It's about connections. I'm your host, Dr. Ritch Hall, and this is a weekly conversation about whatever and however I see to connect things. For people who want to connect, chat, and learn a thing or two about a thing or two. Without further ado, let's start the show. Hello, hello.
Hey there.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Hallspace Podcast. It's been a while.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. We have not done this in quite some time.
Weeks and weeks and weeks.
Weeks and weeks and weeks.
Mhm.
Month of Sundays or 2 months of Sundays.
Yeah, many months.
Many months of Sundays.
Many
Like
months of Sundays.
it was 2021,
Yeah,
the last we did this.
yeah.
And
Now it's 2022.
now it's 2022, and we're trying again to get back on the saddle.
Yeah.
And I've done a couple of other shows and things in
Mhm.
the interim. Been doing some stuff over for Psychologize You. So doing the psychology podcast, and I was giving Nicole a break.
Excuse me.
Don't cough into the
I
microphone.
am sorry.
One of the reasons that we did have to go on hiatus was because Corona
We
happened.
got the COVID.
And went through the house. Corona came through
Everybody.
and knocked down the buildings like it was Snoop Dogg in the video.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's like you get COVID, and you get
yeah,
COVID, and
yeah.
you get COVID.
I'm pretty sure it was Ra that brought it into the house. And then
I'm
after
pretty
that,
sure too. And
everybody
then
got sick pretty much within a matter of
we all
days.
went up to Miami to get tested. And it's
Everybody
like,
got tested, and everybody
I thought
had it.
I honestly thought they were gonna be like, oh, it's just the flu. You guys are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was totally everybody got it.
He came in, he was like, yep, you guys are all positive. And it's like, all
Yeah,
of us?
yeah. Except for me. So I was negative, but
Yeah.
then felt horrible the very next day.
You
so,
got sick anyway.
Yeah. So it wasn't like I got to escape the wrath.
You were
of
the
bit.
original Corona getter out of
Yeah,
our whole
yeah. So
family, though.
I had to emotionally deal with getting it a second time, and the fear that comes with having
It's
it
terrifying.
in a world where I'm knowing people that have died of it.
It's terrifying.
But Omicron,
Omicron.
yeah, definitely swept the VMAs this year.
I feel like we got the Florona version.
Yeah, because everybody was going down with the Omicron.
Yeah, I mean, it was knocking
Galvatron.
down people that had never previously gotten it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was scary because it was like, oh no,
Mhm.
how many people did I?
Yeah, people that have successfully
contact with.
avoided Corona for 2 years were getting it.
I mean, I felt a little bad, and Daniel felt a little bit bad, but we kind of just still did what we did because it wasn't, it didn't feel like the standard Corona symptoms. And so I'm like, oh shoot.
I didn't get it. I wasn't as bad the second time, but it was not fun.
No, you still got sick though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
for at least a day.
It's like the flu or pneumonia, but not.
Yeah.
But it's bad. It's bad though. It's,
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
You just feel icky the whole time. And
shouts out to everybody who's gotten the COVID first or second time.
Yeah.
And survived it, because it is not easy. It's not cool.
It's very hard. My asthma will never be the same.
Right. So she's still, usually whenever Nicole gets something this time of year, she goes down a bit for a little while. And so this time was not any different.
Yeah.
She was she's been coughing.
Yeah.
And whatnot for several weeks now, even though the rest of us got over it 2 weeks ago. She still has the remnants, as it does. It's one of the reasons we wanted to avoid her getting it, because she would not recover easily, which she did not.
I did not.
So
but
yeah,
we're here.
Yeah, we all made it.
We here. All survived.
I would like to return my trial of 2022.
Of 2022. You had a 30-day and you didn't like it.
Yeah, has not worked out the way I thought it would. And so now I'd like to return it.
I agree. I mean, I specifically told 2022 to come in here, sit down.
Come correct.
Don't touch nothing.
Or don't come at all.
Or don't come at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's And now look at us.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
look at us.
And I will say 2022 has been, there was the original quarantine where we all were together in the same space and we got to get on each other's nerves, but then we grew to live with each other
Yeah.
for a certain amount of time.
We drove each
that
other
year.
crazy.
Yeah.
But
So 2020 was like learning to live with each other
Yeah.
without being able to leave the house for extended periods of time.
which is hard.
And then 2022 started.
Yep.
Because
The
there was
same
some of
way?
2021 where we got out of the house, the kids got to go to school, some things were allowed to happen.
Right. Our extroverts
then-
can extrovert.
Yeah. Then 2022 has had 2 different incidents. So we got snowed in last weekend
Mhm.
or this weekend. And then 2 weeks ago was Corona, had us all stuck in the house together,
Right. So
sick.
we get it. The kids got it. And then, so they had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
then
And then this week we got snowed in for 2 days.
Snowmageddon.
So it's having to like relearn each other, and just the kids are getting on each other's nerves.
We're
Nicole has
all
had the people
getting-
way too much.
It's too much, y'all.
It's too much people for her.
Too much people in.
So we're
There's
just
so many calls I need to
return
return because
Yeah.
I just,
because she doesn't have the energy to people.
my battery's low, y'all. Yeah.
And I go back to work tomorrow, and
You go back at your regular time, yeah.
Yeah, go back to work at a regular time.
Kids are on 2-hour delay.
Already.
Hey,
Jeez,
they gotta
the schools have
scrape
been.
the
Yeah. No, the world is ice. Our
Okay.
world is covered in ice and snow.
yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2022 is not looking great so far. We lost some great people going into 2022. Betty White.
We did.
Well,
yeah. Oh,
past that happened. It's hard to. So it's once again, time
That's
is
what
such
me
a
down,
weird
Yeah.
thing, because it's like just. Did that happen a week ago, a month ago, a year ago?
Mhm.
I don't know. I can't say.
She died on New Year's Eve, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. Or we were
Tragic.
notified about it
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, but
Yeah. Which did affect the New Year's Eve
Mm.
proceedings.
So
Yeah.
I really love Betty White.
Yeah.
And then we
it's hard
lost
not to
Sidney
love.
Poitier.
We lost Sidney Poitier. Yeah. We did.
Legend.
The
Okay.
legend, Sidney
Legend.
Poitier.
Yes, the Sidney.
The
Poitier.
Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately.
I mean, and I know they were, how folks say long in the tooth, they were older and they lived a
Yeah.
good life and all that kind of stuff. But still,
It definitely is like this. You want to leave the type of legacy that everybody remembers you fondly
You do.
and feels a certain way about you passing.
you want to be like 99 and a
Mhm.
half, and people be like, they still need more time, man.
Right.
They need to be living longer. We
Right.
need more from you.
Right.
You don't want people to be like, oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't even remember that they passed.
Right,
Oh.
right. It was
You
very
know?
interesting because there were all those people who were very, they were very presumptive. They were, getting ready to celebrate Betty White's 100th birthday.
Oh, they had the magazine. I mean, but
Everything was
magazines
all printed up and
they do that.
things had been shot.
They have to do stuff ahead of time so that when they do
Yeah,
put it
because
out,
of
they
print
put it out
schedules.
the first of the
Yeah,
But
still.
so it was like that made it even harder because it was like,
Mhm.
this is the cover we were going to use, but now we got to change the
Right,
verbiage and then
right,
the
right.
copy and stuff. So yeah, we lost.
So yeah, it's been a little rough going into 2022. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be optimistic. I'm a serial optimist.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
like, having gone through the COVID now, it's like, okay, we at least know how to get through it. We
Mhm.
survived it, right? Just
Mhm.
like many of the other things, that
Yes.
we survived. So we survived being stuck in the house together with the COVID and with the snow,
Mhm.
and everybody's still alive, y'all.
Yeah, somehow.
I'm in this house. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't killed anybody.
Yeah.
This is good. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
she gets this look in her eyes sometimes. So
Yeah, and then I go step out on the porch and I'm breathing the cold air and get
Mhm.
my life together.
yeah, I mean the kids don't make it any easier.
They do not. I mean, Rob and Victoria, they are definitely WWE wrestlers.
Mhm. And
against
if I
each
have any
other.
advice, I would say do not get trapped in a house on a quarantine with a 7-year-old who does not have COVID. Try to make sure that everybody gets it at once, because you'll have this extroverted 7-year-old driving you absolutely insane.
She was between her, you, and I
Mhm.
think my mom
Mm.
did not get it. And she's like, I feel fine. And the
Mhm.
rest of us are like,
Yeah. Everybody's annoyed and cranky and sick, and she's
Yes.
just bouncing around like this extroverted I need attention flower.
Disney princess.
And everybody's like, please leave us all alone.
Please. Yeah, Daniel was down for a week and a half, just
Mhm.
quiet. And Ross started feeling better, but he was so cautious that he was wearing his mask around the house because he was like, I don't want you guys breathing on me, even
Right.
though we think he was like ground zero.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
He feels like he knows the moment it happened to. He was like, that kid coughed on me.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
didn't
He
come
was
back to
very sure
class.
that he got coughed on.
It's
And
like, you sound like Gammy right now.
right. He gets
They
it on.
coughed in my eyeball. And now
Uh-huh.
I got the flu.
Right.
No, I believe it though.
Right. And it's very unfortunate because,
Seriously.
we're almost at 1 million in the United States alone that have passed from COVID. We're at 900,000.
Well, and a lot of those people, like, so we're vaccinated. The
Mhm.
kids are vaccinated.
Yeah.
They've gotten their first vaccinations. They got sick before they could get their second, but
Mhm.
it was still bad. So I
Yeah.
couldn't listen. If I had not been vaccinated, I guarantee you would have took me out.
We'd have been in the hospital.
We'd have been in the hospital.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'd be
'Cause
doing
I'm
this
still
show from the
kind of like
hospital.
mucusy and yeah. No, what?
We'd be doing the show from the hospital bed.
Yeah, I'm talking. I just hear him say we gonna do the show from the hospital.
Well, the show must go on.
What are you in the cafeteria?
Welcome to the Hallspace Podcast. I could do this on the road. It's portable. I could just take the setup.
God. You could just take the setup.
Yeah.
You
Actually,
doing
I
this
could
from
move
your
the mics.
phone.
I got a Zoom recorder. We could just
and I'm just on the ventilator, like thumbs up in or thumbs down.
Just pull the thing out and tell them.
I can't breathe right now.
Tell them your opinion on the Janet Jackson special, if you could.
Oh, yeah.
We're
gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
So there were some good things that happened.
Good things happened
this year. Yes.
What are the good things?
The Bengals are going.
The Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. That's a big news.
First time in 30 some odd years.
33 years. It's been 33 years.
Who day?
Yeah, I actually have notes on this from my previous podcast.
Yeah, because he's been cheating on me, y'all.
It's not considered cheating if you consent.
Oh.
Oh, I should have said this. It's the year of the tiger. So 2022 is the year of the tiger, and the Bengals.
The Chinese year. Okay.
Tiger are going to the Super Bowl, which is like, that's kismet. We should make it. I meant to say that yesterday and I forgot. I taped an episode of Psychologize You. Please be sure to check out Psychologize You, our podcast.
Check it out. There's some
my
episodes coming
podcast
out
on that covers psychology topics specifically that Nicole glazes over when I talk about in depth.
You say it every time.
Yeah, but it's not untrue, so that's why I'm still able to say it. And the first time in 33 years, the Cincinnati Bengals have made it to the Super Bowl. The last time was in 1988.
Yep.
Both times they went to the Super Bowl, they lost to Joe Montana.
Yeah.
And now they get another shot thanks to Joe Burrows.
Yep.
And wide receiver Jamar Chase.
Yep.
And new coach Zach Taylor. Taylor and Burrows have been with us for 2 years. And the Burrows story is interesting because he did break his leg, hurt his knee in his first season, and then returned to take us to victory. So everybody's surprised. Everybody's
so cool.
hopeful. The Bungles, they've always been called because of how often
we're not taking that negativity
up.
Right now. Nope.
And so a lot of people are apprehensive. My good friend Lewis Ferguson was also very apprehensive about whether or not they would succeed, but we're going to see what happens.
Those games were so good.
They were down
really
to the wire. So we'll see if they can pull it out, and maybe this city will bring home a championship.
Yeah.
And it's been very interesting to see the reactions. Like, a lot of people have this pride. Like, I'm going places and seeing people in Bengals jerseys.
They're in the gear, man.
Yeah. Because
they said the shop had line all over the street trying to get in to buy shirts.
Yeah, Nicole was like, we should buy something for Rod. I'm like, we're not buying it right now. Like, where are we going to get it from? Like, that stuff ain't cheap or out there in a way that we could find it right now.
I got my cousin, he makes custom shirts. We're gonna get him to make them.
And she keeps thinking that licenses
Uptown
aren't
Print
a thing.
Shop. We can change it up enough to
and they definitely ain't playing with your
off-brand
merchandise. Yeah, come over and knock your table over.
Right. So interesting story about this whole
break out all your windows in your storefront.
Are they gonna break my legs too?
Like, the NFL don't play.
Then take the shirt back and burn the shirt
right in front of you.
That's rude.
Break all your fingers. Don't play with the NFL.
I just want
them licenses are a real deal.
Yeah.
So you were gonna tell a funny story.
So last year around November-ish, you guys know I lost my job. And I was in between. I was working on getting like my next job, and Rob was like, we were talking about football. He's like, they're gonna go to the Super Bowl, and I'm like, he says it every year. My brother says it every year. It's like, yeah, okay, I don't really pay attention to all the games, but yeah, okay, I'm the Bengals fan, right? And he said, I said, well, let's hope for that. I'm gonna get another job, and I'm gonna make so much more money that I'll take you to the Super Bowl if they make it. I'm like, if the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna get this new job. I'll make mass more money. I'm gonna take you to the Super Bowl. Now
Why would you sell these dreams?
Now look at me.
The minute that they beat the Kansas City Chiefs,
who knew?
My son apparently jumped up to my mother and said, I'm going to the Super Bowl. And I immediately started having heart palpitations when I got this. Because I had already read on the internet how much those tickets cost.
Those tickets are like a mortgage.
$6,000.
$6,500. And those are for the ones that are all the way up.
To be far away from the action.
You can't even see anything.
You can see the whole of the field.
Yeah.
You can't make out faces.
Yeah.
But $6,000 to view the game as an individual.
Yep. So you're talking about, honestly, a $10,000-$12,000 jump.
Yeah. Like
to get the tickets,
significant
to get on
portion
the plane,
of my salary.
Get a hotel, to pay for $50 hot dogs, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I would love to be able to give that experience to him. I don't know why. Listen, who knew?
Yeah. Shout out to my mom for saying you should not have made the bet. That is absolutely true.
It's so true.
That's so true.
It was a bad idea, but it was a bad idea. Definitely, yeah.
So,
because he holds true to that. Like, he's like, no, you said, you had promised.
Yeah.
So you got the job, right? I'm like, yeah. Check. Right.
Yeah.
The Bengals are going to the Super Bowl.
Also valid.
Also check.
Valid. Yeah.
So we're going to the Super Bowl.
No.
No,
we're not.
But mommy had promised.
Yeah, I don't know where she got that.
I don't know where I got that from. I mean, I told my brother about it. He was like, "Yeah, I'd love to be able to go too, but does he like housing and food?"
Right. Does he like having lights and internet?
Yeah.
Because there was a meme today that said
excuse me.
That I thought was hilarious. I don't know if I sent it to you, but it said, for parents that take their kids to Disney World, how do you pay for their clothes and food and electricity for the next 12 years? Because, man.
Right.
Right.
I mean, and sometimes people take their kids
multiple times.
And multiple times.
There was another meme.
They didn't have a good time.
Yeah, no. There was another meme that said there are now the classes could be broken down to never been to Disneyland,
World.
has been to Disneyland once in their lifetime, has been to Disneyland multiple times. Like, those are different brackets of income that you could use to better understand financial divisions in this country.
I believe it. I know that a lot of the people that I know that have gone, like my old boss took his kids, they saved up for 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Before
it's not
like, oh yeah, we're gonna get in a car and go.
Get into a car and go anywhere. Yeah. So
our first out of town date, our first vacation was to Disney World.
Yeah. Richie ran up some credit cards.
Richie took me to
Florida,
Disney World for my birthday.
Yeah.
Because I had never been.
Yeah.
And I was 20. Almost 21.
You were about to turn 21.
I was about to turn 21 because we went to West Virginia first to see your brother.
It was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I would go back and tell young Rich to not do that.
But maybe do something else.
Credit cards off.
Yeah.
But don't set the bar so high for your first time with a young lady, because
we had a good time.
We did have a good time. What it meant was that I now had to pay for vacations for the rest of our relationship. So after that,
are you paying for all of them now?
Nicole was like, we have to go out of town every year. And it was like, well, I mean, I kind of blew my wad on that first one.
No, because then I graduated and I got a job and then I took that over.
That happened a couple of years
willing
later.
to pay for vacations.
Yes.
Vacations are worth it.
Yeah.
You can't take none of this stuff with you. Okay. And I promise you, those vacation days, they're yours.
Take your vacation days. I'm definitely, particularly post-pandemic, I'm definitely a take vacation days.
I am too. It's just the place we like to go. Act like days. COVID is not a thing.
Yeah, the problem is Florida going Florida is what I've been saying. Anytime Nicole's like, I want to go to the beach, I'm like, but it's Florida, and they be straight Florida all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's hard to overlook when you're like, I just want to hang out on the beach. but I got to pass through all of Florida to get there. I got to hang out with other Floridians as I'm
people coughing all over each other. Ain't nobody wearing masks. Yeah. I
mean, in Florida ain't got the worst numbers anymore, but their numbers ain't good. And I don't want to be in a Florida hospital with my kids. So yeah. We've been putting off vacations. I see other people going on vacations, and kudos to you. I am patient. I can wait. I'm doing better at that waiting than Nicole is doing.
I'm not.
Exactly what I was going to say.
I don't want to wait.
But I mean, what are you going to do?
Wear a mask. And wear a double mask. Yeah.
I will go back to what I said for those of you who've listened to this podcast since the beginning or any of the early episodes. If we had attacked this problem with science,
if everybody
had gotten space helmets, we would be able to roam through the streets. Hundreds of thousands of people would still be alive, and we would have just spent several hundred of the dollars per person for the price of several of the PPP masks or whatever. We could have attacked this problem with science, but no, vanity ruled out, and now hundreds of thousands of people are dead because we couldn't put our pride aside and get the hi, that's probably our son.
Hey buddy.
Hey, so yes, we should have gotten space helmets, and I will die on that hill. Had we gotten the space helmets, we would be roaming the streets free to enjoy the world.
It'd be nice to go back into the world.
I would do it with a space helmet in a heartbeat. I'd go anywhere.
I'm okay doing it with a mask.
Circulatory system, little speaker in it.
Get your Prometheus on.
Yeah, I will absolutely get my Prometheus on. Just a shoulder-sized space helmet to allow me to move about the cabin
and people won't
freely.
On you. Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to worry about breathing the air of other people. I would do it.
Yeah.
But no, 3 years in, going into our second year, into our third year of this, we still have not figured out how to solve this problem.
There are some scientists that are saying that this is going to be the roughest part of the year, and that it should get better. Yeah. I mean, winter is rough for me no matter what. And it's rough for people that have autoimmune, anybody that has asthma, people that get bronchitis. Like, so, for people like that, you're always watching about the people breathing on you and stuff like that. And so it's similar, but different, because you could really, really, be taken down. But I'm at the point where, we're going to get these kids their other vaccination. I'm going to get my booster. We're going to wear these masks, and we're just going to go. We're just going to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Going places, doing things. It's so weird because people have been so presumptive. They keep like, oh, we're going to have conferences and we're going to have meetings and conventions have been happening.
That I hear it. I'm like, do we have to do that? Because that could be like a conference call or
it's really just like people need to make money and things need to happen.
Yeah.
And I just wonder,
I was really only talking about doing the fun stuff.
We've been to Chicago since this. Like I'm like remembering that we went to Chicago.
We did.
So we did travel. We had a good time in Chicago. It was a very expensive trip though.
It was worth every penny.
She says that, but like as I'm paying the credit card down, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have used the Uber so much, or maybe I shouldn't have eaten so well.
Worth every penny.
Particularly since we went right before.
You can eat McDonald's here.
As you can see, she and I have different opinions on how money is spent. I do not eat McDonald's.
You do not eat McDonald's. But you
for good reason. My stomach just can't handle it.
Yeah,
anymore.
No, it's a bad idea.
Well past McDonald's.
I wish I could. I have these copycat recipes that I like to make, but no, we went for the Comic-Con.
C2E2. We went to
C2E2, which is normally in June. It's in the summer.
No, it's
August.
Yeah.
It's normally in the summer.
They moved it back.
And so they pushed it back into December, and it was like, our friend Lamorris is going to be up from Florida. The Huddlestons were there. We hadn't seen them in 2 years now. It was great.
It was great to see them.
We stayed for the first time. We stayed in the city, downtown, and had views of everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, and Chicago has great food, so we
ate very
definitely indulged.
Got to go back to the bongo room. Shout out to Nicholas Zanafanan, who introduced me to the bongo room and their amazing French toasts.
We went back.
If you're ever in Chicago, eat in the bongo room. Got to get to Lou Malnati's again. Yes,
we went to
Park.
Yep. We went to Lou Malnati's. That was great. It was great, and we had this big dinner with, the comic comic book folks and
Yeah, we had a really good time.
it
It was a
was
good trip.
nice. It was nice, and the
It made me miss
hotel was
traveling.
nice, and
Yeah.
I got sick after that.
Yep.
And your mom was like, "Was it worth it?" I'm like, "Yes." No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get sick here.
You could, except you don't leave the house, so your chances of getting sick here, tremendously lower than it is when you step out into the world.
Yeah, but I don't leave the house, and then y'all don't leave the house, and then I don't get the house to myself. So
she needs a lot of space to herself. She's kind of like a cat. I married a cat. So with that, we're close enough to take a break. Let's go ahead and take a break. Pause for the cause. We'll be back for another short wrap up. And then wait, I've said too many words. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back with more of the Hallspace Podcast.
See you soon.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Hallspace Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Ritch Hall, and I'm here with my lovely and capable co-host, Nicole Hall.
Hey there. Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy 2022.
Happy 2022.
Let's try to make it happy. We're in 2.22.
Let's get it together, man.
Let's get it together. Let's try and, by force of will, make this a better year than the previous couple of years.
Yeah.
I feel like, and this is like a deeply philosophical conversation, but I feel like one of our problems is that we assumed that things were going to go the way they had gone. And so this seems so disruptive because we had built all these systems around thinking things were going to be okay.
Yeah.
When you consider the whole of human history, like going back to even when we were, cavemen, we did not have as much control over things as much as we do now. So we assume because we have mastery over, like, we can keep ourselves out of the elements and we can locomote ourselves across large distances, that, you know, we can control things. And then virus shows up and it's like, you don't control nothing, Nick. And so we have to kind of deal with that as it is, because
I feel like I definitely feel like this is the Lord, like, y'all never had control. Get it together.
It's very humbling.
It is. I mean, but it's always been true. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay. We've never had control over things. There have been all kinds of sicknesses and viruses and calamities and things that you have to go through and go, you know, and so it's, you know, kind of the way things are. I remember the moment that I realized that maybe life would be that way. This years ago. I remember when 2011 happened, and I'm watching TV. I was in college, but
2011. You mean 9/11 happened?
9/11, not 2011. Jeez,
I mean, it happened. 2001.
2001. I'm sorry.
So it's been
2000. It's been
21 years.
Geez.
That's how old you are, man.
That's how old we are. That's
how old
than
you
me.
are. But still, you're old enough for that, for you to be having a memorable occasion 21 years ago.
Yes,
that's how old you are.
I did. And in a moment, we're going to talk about how long you've known Lewis and all that other kind of stuff.
I don't know why we're bringing up Lewis. He has nothing to do with this part of the
We're
conversation.
talking about Bengals. We're talking about football, how long we've known people. But so 2001, watching the news, watching these planes crash into these buildings. And I'm like glued to the TV. I'm like, it's the first big thing I've ever seen happen, you know. And, you know, my grandfather comes up the stairs like, yeah, you got to go vote today. Yeah, I know. Stuff like this happens. I mean, you know, and I'm like, how come he's not? What is wrong? How come he's not? You know, it's like, but this is, at that time, he was 60 some odd years old. He had been to war and back, right? I mean, lived his life, you know, and so now as we get older, it's like, yeah, sometimes
things happen. Sometimes you got to roll with it,
and you find a way to get through it, and you learn from it, and you know, you deal with it, whatever. So yeah. Welcome to the world.
You're one day older.
Another day older, man. Yeah.
So yeah, we're so as we said, we recovered from another bout of COVID. We are recovering from a recent snow day. The Winter Olympics are happening, and I completely forgot about them. Mostly because I don't watch network TV at all anymore. So
it was hard. It was like, how do we find the game? They only have one antenna in the house. So.
Other things have been going on. Nicole would love to spend the next 40 minutes rapping at you about the Manosphere podcasts, Fresh and Fit, because she had a lot of feelings and opinions about them. And when they were on the news for saying that they don't like dating Black women, she was really fired up about that.
Date the bonquishas if you want to, is what they said.
They specifically evoked the negative stereotypes about Black women. Fresh and fit.
Fresh and fit. Yeah, because in my head, I got a bunch of F and F words for them. That's other names that I definitely call them.
Yeah. So that was. I had to hear about that, and we weren't taking the show at the time. So you guys don't get to hear all those expletives that she threw out about them. But she definitely had strong opinions. Who was the rapper that responded? What? There was a rapper that responded?
There was a guy who has a podcast as a rapper who responded.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it Joe Budden?
Probably Joe Budden. He is a podcast.
I feel like to things. I feel like
he called them clowns.
Yeah, and I feel like he responded in the most appropriate way possible and said everything the rest of us were thinking. Because, you know, like, of course, in the comments, there are a bunch of us that are just mad. Like, but, you know, he kind of said, boom, 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 clowns, losers, you know. You don't have to slam. I mean, if you don't like Black women, don't date them. But you don't have to slam them.
More often, it's based on stereotypes than anything else. We've got some weird things around preference that we throw out, but in reality, it's largely stereotypes and white supremacy. Yay, white supremacy! Am I allowed to say that and not get demonetized by YouTube or something? I don't know.
You guys will
but
never
it's totally
see this
a thing. Maybe you can see it live. We're doing it live. Yeah. So
yeah, I feel like, I mean, for yeah, I don't know that it's something I would suggest you go down the rabbit hole for.
Don't do that to yourself.
Because they're trash.
Yeah.
They're
I keep
trash.
meaning to do a show
They
about the
say trashy
manosphere. Because it's a big thing that's happened in the past year. I think it's in part one of the, like, so many people went to podcasts since the pandemic happened, and a lot of men in their loneliness have gravitated towards these voices who are, in some ways empowering, like the Kevin Samuels and the Fresh and Fits and all of those guys.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, as a person who works with young Black men, I've like been in it as a exercise of what are they talking about? Because it is a very weird thing to have a client quote a manosphere person at you, and you're like, wait, where did that? I've heard that talking point before.
Yeah. Let me go look that up and
you've
find
been
out
watching
where you got
some
that.
YouTubes. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get these opinions and ideas from? And so I don't think you can completely divest yourself from it, but
no, I think
I also don't think it's valid. And as with most things on social media, it should be examined much more critically than it is.
I believe that you should be allowed to have your voice and that you speak your truth, right? I also believe that when you speak on people and things and events, that you do it with love. I feel like that's, you know what I mean? And so there's some people that's like, I feel like there are some things
not everybody believes that.
Not everybody believes that. I think that
a lot of people do not ascribe to that.
I believe that with Kevin Samuels, he feels like he's speaking truth, which I think there are things that he says that are truthful, but it gets missed or convoluted with his delivery, right?
Which he gets paid more for the delivery.
He gets paid more for the delivery, 100%. I believe that. I get that. But these guys are just trash with trash words, trash opinions. They're not trying to uplift anybody. They got these girls in the room trying to look cool, and they're dogging every single one of them.
They want men to feel good about themselves, so they
no
mean to women.
No. They got dogged by some girls, so they bring the girls that look like the girls they got dogged by, so they could dog them, so they could feel better. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting rant. I'm sorry. I don't even know.
You don't even know those individuals individually,
and my husband is nothing like that.
No.
So yeah,
he just occasionally watches these opinions and
I'm gonna take the Tabitha Brown and just God bless you.
Yes.
But don't do that to those girls.
Take the high road.
Don't do that to those girls.
They still have a very popular. They still have a very popular platform, so they're not going anywhere for a while.
Well, and if
I'm not sure that it's not like a FBI counter programming thing.
You think it's like a
I have one of my my weird conspiracy theories is that there's a reason it's amassed so much cultural cachet and attention so quickly, and it's in part because they kind of may be getting governmental support.
Well, the interesting thing is
if it ain't the FBI, it's Russia.
The interesting thing is neither one of them is African American.
No, they're not American. Neither one of them are American.
So yeah.
But yet African Americans gravitate towards them. So
you bring some ops in.
Yeah. One of them is genuinely a government official. Like he was an officer.
Really?
Yeah. I believe he's the one known as Fresh. He had to come out because it was found out. And it didn't in any way sully his reputation, unfortunately. So that's where my brain was like, wait, is this?
So this guy is a government official, right? But I don't watch the show. We'll just tell you, it's a bunch of
we've already given it way too much attention.
I know.
They get a bunch of girls in the room. They yell at them.
They're half naked party girls, kind of thing, and
girls
then
from the clubs and strippers and things like that.
And then they commence to dogging them out.
And then they treat them like they're stupid, and they almost never have anyone on the podcast that's like intelligent. They use a lot of like I was going to say red pill talking points, but they use a lot of like conservative talking points. Like once Myron said that white men are the most discriminated in America, and that was when I was like, wait, okay, so we're no longer talking anything that I understand. So it's a weird time on the internet.
It is. There are a lot of people that are getting a lot of attention. There was we're not going to give them any more attention. Please don't.
They're
just they're garbage.
But a lot of these popular that get popular fast podcasts, they tend to flame out
Well, it's just
because
like
there's something about the being so high up that you can
yeah.
make mistakes.
Now, what's the girl that's in the vein of Candace Owens that we discovered?
I don't remember that girl's name.
I don't remember that
I
girl's name
jettisoned it,
either.
but there will always be Candace Owens. We were in, where was that?
We were here.
No, that was our
We were
staycation here.
Yeah.
And this girl came on the news and she was talking about anti-critical race theory, and Nicole's like up and I'm half asleep and she's just yelling at the TV and I'm like, what's happening?
Because what she said was,
she's yelling at this girl on PBS, the lady on PBS who's
I'm
asking
flipping
her
through
questions.
the cable channels, about to make this bad hotel coffee, and she says there's never been a better time to be a Black woman in this in the world, because we're getting all these allowances, all of these, like she made it sound like
she used the conservative talking point of minorities have it way easier than white people
way
do.
easier than white people,
which implies they're taking something from you.
I can get into a college easier because I'm Black.
Yeah.
I'm getting my job because I'm Black and a woman and need to check that box. Not because I'm smart.
Aren't
not
those
because
jobs
I'm talented,
all full of Black women?
Not because I'm a joy to hang out.
Aren't they pretty much everywhere you see Black women in all these positions of power? Aren't they everywhere? Pretty sure.
Ask me how many Black women I work with right now.
You work there, so obviously affirmative action was doing
Besides
something.
myself.
No. It's easier to be a Black person. I've heard it.
Ask me how many Black women I worked with my entire IT career. Ask me. Ask me.
Black people apparently have it easier now, so that means that white people are losing.
Yeah, so when she said that, I was clipping through and she was like, there's never been, and I tell you what, I definitely would have gotten to college easily
if she had gone. She also had not gone to college. So it's very easy
to go to college.
So what this boils down to for me is that it's very easy to get a platform if you want to regurgitate certain talking points. They
put her out there. They're like,
this woman whose name is completely escaping me. We looked her up at the time, but I could not remember who she was.
And then we sort of stack dumped it because it was
she's not a person you should keep in your head.
We stacked dumped it because she's just. I mean, even the lady that was interviewing her was like. Because then they started to discuss Washington and how they ran up in the White House and got into these offices and all that kind of stuff. And she refused to call it an insurrection. And the lady was like, they had guns, they're busting down doors. What would you call it? She was like, it's a riot. But then she talks about the riot for George Floyd. She was like, Black Lives Matter. I can't believe, they're never going to be satisfied. They're just going to burn down everything. It was like, it's exhausting. It's very exhausting. And she's a part of what's the group? She's a part of.
This is a hilarious conversation because we are missing valuable information for this to make sense.
We are, and I'm sorry I brought it up, but I felt like we were talking about the vein of people becoming insta famous, right? For their bad, trashy ideas. Something university. PragerU,
which is not an actual university.
It's not a university, and the interviewer made her explain that, and she's like, we learned from the events in the world, and we're learning so much more than you would, at a college, or in a class somewhere. And so she was saying that teaching critical race theory in elementary school and high school and junior high was detrimental to the children because they hadn't figured out who they were yet. And so it was detrimental to their growth to teach them about it so early, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot. I keep meaning to do the show about.
You know what? Honestly, okay. And you say this every time that I glaze over, but I feel like this needs to be a separate episode because I have a bunch of thoughts about it, and and again, she's growing in that vein of Candace Owens, so she is starting to gain a lot of attention. She's starting to get interviewed a lot. Her Twitter is crazy, but she got shut down from a bunch of places for I don't want to call it hate speech, but
for false language about the what's the name? Her name is Amala Ekpunobi.
Ekpunobi.
Yeah,
there she is. Yeah,
and she was originally a leftist, and she became what we call a grifter by joining the conservative talking point side. And we've once again given her way too much attention already.
We have, but I feel like when you
she's
you don't
also
know
a daughter
of
Nigerian,
how do you combat
Nigerian immigrants.
Yeah.
I think yes, no, you do have to know something. You have to know a little bit about a little bit to be able to combat these ideas.
You got to know what other people are thinking in the world, and what
but also
spreading.
Don't entrench yourself in it, because you just end up spending so much time angry.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of what
I agree,
because I do a lot of work with idealistic young college students who are themselves trying to navigate the world where they see the wrongs of the world and are trying to figure out how to live their life, but also feel okay. And like, how do you take this coat off and just be a person when so much is wrong with the world? And some of it is, and it's funny because I was talking to Terry Huddleston today. Shout out to Terry Huddleston, it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Terry.
I was talking to him, and he was like, he stopped watching the news quite some time back, and I realized I don't watch the news really that much. Occasionally stuff trickles through the social media feeds, but you don't really need it. A lot of it is based on saying and doing things that upset you emotionally so that you will pay attention. And if it's not that, then people will turn away or ignore it. So they have to be incendiary. You have to have people like Amala on your television saying dumb things so that you will pay attention. You are
provocative.
You stop flipping through the channels, stop watching things, because
and that's exactly what I did. I'm like, what did she just say?
Because this person is saying things on the televisions.
Yeah.
And so that's usually my approach to, the Amalas and the Candace Owens and the Joe Rogans, is to just act as if they do not deserve my mental real estate.
They don't. But I do believe that there is something to be said for having the conversations, so that, at the very minimum, our children are going to meet people like this. They're going to go into the world, or they're going to see something, and they need to know.
And you can definitely inoculate your children against dealing with these people. It's actually been pretty funny because my son has been not canceled.
He's been banned from Roblox, or suspended multiple times
because he wants to fight racists on Roblox, and it's like,
he doesn't want people to.
You're no good at this. 2, just if a person's doing racist things on Roblox, do not repeat the racist thing they did in the hopes that they will recognize they did the racist thing, because what has happened to him
get blocked
multiple
just like
times is that he repeats the racist thing they said. And then
I don't either.
When they say the racist thing, he repeats it. He gets turned in for it, and then he gets banned, and he doesn't understand why he's banned. And he was like, I was just trying to prove that he did a racist thing. It's like, dude, but you're parroting a racist thing when you did it.
And in proving it, he says the racist thing that they said. So they're like, you're both saying it, you're both banned. We're not dealing with this.
And then he like badgers Roblox as if it's his mother that he could like guilt into letting him back on. He'll send like
emails,
20 emails, like, please abandon me, please abandon me. I'll never do it again.
This guy is racist though. He said racist things.
I was
he called a black person a monkey. Like listen, Captain America.
You're right. You are not going to be able to get the machine that is Roblox to do anything about this. They don't care. They're impartial, and maybe they should step up against the racists on their platform.
I mean, but honestly, if you think about those little blips, we're talking about Roblox. You're talking about those little blips. I bet you there are whole games, whole systems within Roblox that they're fighting,
where people are doing all kinds
they
of
don't have time
things
to worry about this white guy calling this black kid a monkey, right? Because they have so much bigger to fish and fry. I'm proud that that Ra is like
the guy who stands up. Yeah,
it's not fair.
At the same time, dude, learn to chill out. Yeah,
he got unbanned. It's like
he gets
a weak
unbanned.
Ban.
He just keeps getting a weak ban, but we keep telling him that if he keeps it up,
so little Mark does it too.
Yeah,
he gets so mad. He gets so
upset. And my thing is just stop feeling like you got to go at everybody who does something bad.
He goes after everybody that he feels is.
And I appreciate that he has the integrity, but also chill out, man.
He does.
You ain't got to be fighting the whole internet.
He is going to call out racism. He's going to call out all kinds of things that he sees, period.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of him being that kid.
As an idea, but like,
dude. It's a hard road to toe, right? And I understand that too. But for that to be just kind of in his it makes me very proud.
Yeah.
But it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
And it's like, you're 11.
Right.
just avoid those people.
Please stop fighting all the fights.
Please don't fight all the fights. You're not going to be able to play Roblox, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but we're saying that as older people that know that there are some things that you have to preserve your energy for.
Yes, absolutely.
And there are some things that you have to be able to say, all right.
Mm-hmm. So the next time
I disagree with you.
Random light-skinned girls show up on the TV talking dumb things about critical race theory, you should just learn to tune out like I do and go, all right. You're allowed to have dumb opinions out loud because it's America, apparently. And we, move on, right?
So he's going to be like me. And
he gets it honest. Gets it honest. Yeah. Next time a Fresh and Fit comes across television, you don't have to fight and yell out loud about how wrong they are.
And I don't follow them or anything that's close to them, but they showed up in my feed somehow.
Honest.
Honestly, I do to protect my peace. I don't watch the news. Mm-hmm. Sometimes giving my phone to the kids and letting them have it
is her way of checking out.
It's my way of checking out from,
because the kids will totally drop a call any.
They don't care who's calling me at all. So if you haven't heard from me,
it's because Victoria had the phone.
I'm gonna watch some TV and just veg out because sometimes I need to defrag and protect my peace. It's all I have.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're come around the bend on another exciting episode of the Hallspace Podcast.
Thank you so much for joining
us. We're back. We're going to be trying to do some episodes. Yep. It's going to be a little tricky because next week is the Super Bowl.
So we're not going to.
She's already saying we're not going to do a show, but maybe I will do a show with someone not her. And she feels a way about that.
Minute.
And because got to keep the ball going, and then my sister's birthday is also the following weekend, and then my mother's birthday comes up, so it's like there's a lot coming up in our lives. We will
mega excited for Bridget's birthday weekend.
Yes
she turns 40. Mm-hmm. Yay. And then mom's birthday, which is 2 days for my grandmother's birthday.
All right, so much is going on, so we gotta figure it out how to do it. Shout out to Monique for saying that my son could be the leader of the NAACP.
He could.
He definitely has the fortitude.
He could.
And he believes in things.
He'd be ready to fight.
He do.
Like for justice.
Right. He's all about the justice. So he would definitely be in the front lines, getting his head busted open.
I missed your face, by the way.
A cop.
Yeah.
So yes, let's go ahead and end the show.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us. We've definitely appreciated another time sitting down and having this private internet chat with all of you, our friends and family.
You know what the music means.
You know what the music means. Our time is up.
I say good day, sir.
I say good day. The Hallspace Podcast is brought to you by Hall Productions, LLC. Show notes and credits can be found at our webpage, thehallspacepodcast.wordpress.com. Any questions, comments, or concerns can be sent to us at thehallspacepodcast@gmail.com. The show is written by Dagger Penn Davis. Music is curated by DJ Cabal. The show is produced by Chuck Jones and recorded at Slash and Trash Studios. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a good week.